One who listens to the story of Bhairav, his devotion in Shiva becomes firm and steady. Once Brahma was sanctioned on the wonderful and beautiful summit of the Meru Parvat, when all the celestial sages approached him with a desire to know the real truth. They asked him respectfully, O Lord of gods, O Lord of subjects, O Creator, O Leader of the worlds, tell us the real fact. What is that sole unchanging entity? Brahma replied haughtily, I am the material cause of the universe, the Creator, the self-born, the unborn, the Lord, the primordial being, the Brahman. I am the instigator of the worlds and the deterrent too. There is none greater than I or any other who causes their revolution. Meanwhile, Lord Vishnu became angry as he too was deluded by Maya, and he said, O Brahma, it is sheer foolishness on the part of a practicer of yoga. Without knowing the great reality, this is being mentioned in vain. I am the creator of all the worlds, the greatest Purush, the Paramatma, the sacrifice, the Lord Narayana, the master of Maya and the greatest goal. It is at my behest that creation is carried on by you. Without regard for me, no life can exist in the worlds, thus starting a mutual clash due to delusion and desiring to conquer each other. They asked the Vedas about truth. Rig Veda said, that in which the bhoots stay, that from which everything comes out, what they call as the greatest entity, that is Rudra alone. Yajurveda said, the Lord who is worshipped by means of all sacrifices and meditation, whereby we have an authority, that sole seer of all is Shiva. Samaveda said, that by which this universe whirls, that which is meditated upon by yogins, the light whereby the universe is illuminated, that Trayambak alone is the greatest. Atharvaveda said, they call that soul being Shiva, who is beyond all misery, who is the Lord of gods, whom the people who have the blessing of devotion see. After hearing what was thus said by the Vedas, Brahma and Vishnu, deluded very much by the Maya, crooked in consciousness, smiled and said to the Vedas, O Vedas, what is this that you all speak without sense? What has happened to you? All wisdom is utterly lost now. Hearing all these words, the all-pervasive Pranav, who though unembodied, assumed an embodied extensive form, told them thus, Lord Isha, Rudra, Shiva, indulging in sports and assuming various forms, never sports about with the Shakti different from him. The great Lord is self-luminous and eternal. Shiva is his Shakti, in the form of bliss, not a chance occurrence. Even after this explanation, the ignorance of Brahma and Vishnu was not quelled. It was due to the Maya of Shiva alone. Then a great flame manifested itself in their midst. It filled the space between the heaven and the earth by means of its splendor. Then Brahma and Vishnu saw a shape in the form of a man in the middle of the mass of flame. Its body was huge and wonderful. The fifth head of Brahma burnt with rage, as though saying, who is this bearing a man's outline and features in our midst? By the time Brahma could reflect properly, the great being was seen immediately as the three-eyed one, with the trident in his hand and eye in the forehead. Serpents and crescent moon constituted his ornaments. The deluded Brahma, on seeing him, said laughingly, I know you. Do not be afraid, O moon-crested one. You, Rudra, came out formerly from my forehead. Since you cried, the name Rudra was also assigned to you by me formerly. O son, seek refuge in me alone. I shall save you. On hearing the haughty words of the lotus-born Brahma, Shiva became angry as if out for destruction. Angrily he created a Purush, Bhairav, blazing in great brilliance. Then he spoke lovingly, O Kaal Bhairav, at the outset, This lotus-born Brahma shall be chastised by you. You shine like god of death, hence you are Kalaraj. You are called Bhairav because you are of terrifying features and you are capable of supporting the universe. Since even Kaal is afraid of you, you are called Kaal Bhairav. When you are angry, you will be suppressing the wicked souls. Hence you will be known everywhere as the suppressor of the wicked. Since you will be devouring the sins of devotees in a trice, your name will be famous as Sin Eater. He alone will be the chastiser of those who commit sins. After receiving all these boons, Kaal Bhairav in a trice cut off Brahma's head with the tip of his nails of the fingers of his left hand. The limb that commits offense shall be chastised. Hence the fifth head that censured was cut off. On seeing Brahma's head cut off, Vishnu devotedly repeated the Satarudriya mantra and eulogized Shiva. This frightened the golden-wombed Brahma, and he too performed the job. Thus in an instant both of them were divested of their pride. They realized that Shiva is the supreme Brahman with existence, knowledge and bliss as the characteristic. He is the great Atma and transcends the attributes. Lord Shiva quells the arrogant because he is the destroyer of arrogance. Coming to know that Brahma and Vishnu had been deprived of their pride, Lord Shiva, the great god, became delighted, and the Lord assured them of his protection. After consoling both of them, the delighted Shiva, favorably disposed towards his devotees, spoke to Bhairav, his own other form. Hold the skull of Brahma as an atonement. Show to the world the rite of expiation for removing the sin of slaying Brahmin. You beg for alms by restoring to the right of skull. After saying this and creating a virgin renowned as Brahmahatya, even as he was watching, Shiva, in the form of mass of flames, spoke thus. Until she goes to the divine city of Varanasi, you too shall follow her for a terribly long period. You will have free access to everywhere except the city of Varanasi. When she goes to Varanasi, you can be freed of her in a trice. Thus directing the Brahmahatya, the wonderful Lord Shiva vanished from the scene. Thanks for watching the video. Do subscribe the channel for more such interesting contents on Hindu mythology. A very goodbye for now.